Hello friends, welcome back to Good Life Farm. So I hinted in my last video about the little structure you saw me sitting underneath when I was sitting there at the table chatting about the Homesteaders of America conference. And there was actually a couple people who guessed what I was sitting underneath, and that was a sukkah. Now most of you know that I like to celebrate the biblical feasts, God's appointed times, and they all have tremendous meaning. I have a video where I talked about some of my favorite books, besides the Bible of course, that explains the symbolism, that shows you Jesus, Yeshua, in each of the feasts. They are incredibly full of meaning and beauty, and that's part of the reason, of course, that I like to celebrate them. And currently it is Sukkot. Now Sukkot is basically where God commands grown-ups to build forts. I mean, it's kind of a joke, but it's kind of true. And so just for reference, here is one of the scripture references in the Bible that talks about it. And that is in Leviticus chapter 23, starting in verse 33. Adonai said to Moses, "Tell the people of Israel on the 15th day of this 7th month." Now remember, this is the biblical calendar, not the calendar that we generally use. "On the 15th day of this 7th month is the feast of Sukkot for 7 days to Adonai. On the first day there is to be a holy convocation. Do not do any kind of ordinary work. For 7 days you are to bring an offering made by fire to Adonai. On the 8th day you are to have a holy convocation and bring an offering made by fire to Adonai. It is a day of public assembly. Do not do any kind of ordinary work. These are the designated times of Adonai that you are to proclaim as holy convocations and bring an offering made by fire to Adonai, a burnt offering, a grain offering, a sacrifice and drink offerings, each on its own day. Besides the Shabbats of Adonai, your gifts and all your vows and all your voluntary offerings that you give to Adonai. But on the 15th day of the 7th month, when you have gathered the produce of the land, you are to observe the festival of Adonai 7 days. The first day is to be a complete rest, and the 8th day is to be a complete rest. On the first day, you are to take choice fruit, palm fronds, thick branches, and river willows, and celebrate in the presence of Adonai your God for 7 days. You are to observe it as a feast to Adonai 7 days in the year. It is a permanent regulation. Generation after generation, keep it in the 7th month. You are to live in a Sukkot for 7 days. Every citizen in Israel is to live in a Sukkah. Sukkah is the singular term, Sukkot is plural. So that generation after generation of you will know that I made the people of Israel live in Sukkot when I brought them out of the land of Egypt. I am Adonai your God. Thus Moshe announced to the people of Israel the designated times of Adonai. Now, of course, we don't live in a time where we bring burnt offerings or anything like that. So what most people do to celebrate Sukkot is go camping. This time of year, if you visit campgrounds, you will probably see lots of groups of people who are out there camping. I know here in our area there are many groups. There's groups that go up to Monte Sano, which is a big state park in Huntsville, Alabama. All around you will find people having these celebrations and gatherings. Now, because we have a farm and we don't have people who can farm sit for us, I get a little creative and I have my own way of celebrating Sukkot. And that begins by building a sukkah out in the front garden. Now there's all different ways that you can build a sukkah. Sometimes you'll see bamboo reeds and things like that lashed together and branches over the top. You might see people using just a simple tent or a canopy with decorations. There's all different ways of doing it. I decided to get a little creative and use things that are already here on my homestead, like a cattle panel arch. And then I had a mat of bamboo poles or rods or whatever you want to call them, and I used that as the foundation of my sukkah. And then I walked around the property and I just kind of collected plant materials that I could use to decorate and create my sukkah. I used some goldenrod. I used some of that I don't even know what it's called. It's like this bamboo-y monkey grass sort of stuff that grows out here. I cut down some of that because it kind of looks like palm branches. I hung some string lights. I used some white sheets to create the curtains. And then I decorated it with some glass pumpkins and some flowers and just made it look nice. And that is my sukkah. Now there are a lot of different interpretations as to what it means to dwell in your sukkah. Many people will simply eat under one of these structures. Some people will live under them. I actually set up my tent out in the front garden area and I've been sleeping in my tent. Although I will tell you that last night we had some severe storms come through here. And I was gonna stay out there, but then the lightning started getting really, really bad. And I thought, you know what? I am surrounded by metal cattle panels because it's my garden area. Metal cattle panels, metal fencing, and the lightning was really, really bad. And I thought, you know, I don't think I'm gonna jump over a cliff and ask God to catch me. So I came in the house in the middle of the night and stayed in for the rest of the storm. And I was glad I did because the lightning got really bad. We actually had a lightning strike right out here. I was worried sick over Sophie and Amos because the lightning it struck right out here behind the house. And I know I was really relieved when I got up this morning and I saw they were okay because I kind of lost some sleep over that one last night. But it was a doozy of a storm. But it's beautiful now. It's gusty, but it's sunny and nice. And so tonight I'll be right back out in my tent and I will be camping. Now later this week I'll be going and taking part with a group fellowship and having dinner and going up on the mountain and blowing the shofars and just having a ball. You know, Sukkot is a really fun, festive holiday, and there's a lot of historians and Bible scholars who actually think that that's what our American Thanksgiving is based off of, because originally Thanksgiving was held earlier in the year around the time of the harvest. It lasted for more than one day. It was like a week-long celebration. And if you think about the decorations that you often see for Thanksgiving, like the cornucopia baskets filled with the fruit of the harvest, it kind of looks a little bit like a shofar, so I can see it. Now, speaking of the Bible, many of you know, I've talked about in the past, that I use the Daily Bread for Busy Moms book for my Bible reading, and I've been using this for a few years now. I absolutely love it. It's kind of like a cross between a Bible reading plan and a journal. And I just received my book for the coming year, and these actually begin just after Sukkot ends. But when I ordered mine, I ordered a few extras. So this is the women's version. It is, every year it looks a little bit different. It has a lovely floral design. And this is considered the men's version. It has more of a classic book design, and they're kind of wrapped in plastic, so it looks so shiny. But on the inside, they are exactly the same. They have the reading plan. They have space for you to write on. I have a video where I talked about these and why I love using this reading plan. I'll put a link to that down below where you can see what it looks like on the inside. But like I said, I ordered a couple extra, and I am giving away this pair of books to a lucky recipient. Now, I'm not hosting the giveaway on YouTube simply because there's been a lot of problems with spammers going around and telling people they've won when they didn't. Yeah, it just causes a lot of drama, and I'm a no drama mama. And so I am hosting this giveaway on my website. I will put a link down below underneath this video or in the pinned comment. Now, the turnaround time on this is going to be very, very quick because, like I said, this is about to begin, and I am going to limit this to shipping in the United States simply because I want these to get to the winner as soon as possible, because the calendar in here starts off right after Sukkot ends, which is this weekend. So I'm going to close this out, draw a winner, and ship them out on Monday. So if you want to enter, head straight on over, put in your entry. And it's one winner, 2 copies. So if you have a spouse that likes to do these, you could have one for you and one for them, or you can keep one, give one to a friend. Whatever you want, 1 winner, 2 copies. So that is it. There is going to be a bonus video tomorrow on Saturday. It is for a very decadent dessert recipe that I made today, because today is a special occasion, and I'll talk about that in that video. So be sure to check that out. Thanks for joining me again here at A Good Life Farm. I'll talk to y'all next time.